All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join us here today for another great show with another great topic that is extremely important. This topic is extremely crucial, so you're going to want to stick around for this entire show because we're going to be talking about confidence today and the importance of confidence. And we'll get into that more so in just a few here. But before we get to that, as always, let me make sure, first of all, that the YouTube stream is functioning properly. And it looks like it is on the back end. There is a little bit of a delay, so it's taking a little while for it to start up. There we go. And the YouTube notification should be popping up. And there it is. All right, we are good to go. Today, we're going to be discussing 3 exercises to become more confident. One more time. 3 exercises to become more confident. Before we get to that, for those of you that are watching this live stream is happening here on Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams on Thursday, June 30th, 2022, the last day of June. Wow. That means after today, we are exactly halfway through 2022. Wow. God, time flies not only when you're having fun, but as you get older, time just seems to fly quicker. So if you're watching here live, this message is more so for you. My lady and I did a stream yesterday, and I had to make some edits to that stream. So that stream's been placed to private. The edits are in process of being processed, or in progress of being processed. Let's put it that way. Through YouTube, and that stream should become publicly available sometime later this afternoon or early evening or so. It was a great show we did yesterday. Excuse me here a second. And the topic of that show was relationships are best between people of similar desirability. One more time, relationships are best between people of similar desirability. So that stream will be publicly available sometime later this afternoon or early evening. Keep it locked here on the Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams channel, and you will know the moment that it gets put out there. I will also share it on my community tab of both channels. By the way, if you have not subscribed to my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, please do so. Nightbot is sharing the link every 7 minutes in the chat, or just go to youtube.com/lifecoacheli. A few hours after this show ends, I will be going live with another Walking with Purpose stream. So you're going to want to subscribe to that channel and check it out. And the walks are very fun. They're low key. They have a topic, but they're also more so to engage with my audience and to just kind of shoot the shit. So check those out. People really love the Walking with Purpose live streams from my walks that I do daily, if not almost daily. All right. So with that out of the way, let me go ahead and bring on my wonderful, beautiful, amazingly intelligent lady to the show and get this party started. Babe, welcome back to another show. Big round of applause for you as always.
What? I'm here. I love it. And
What?
That is a beautiful background.
Oh, you love that background, baby?
I love that background.
Well, baby, what I'm going to do is turn off my video for a second. So, it's going to take about a minute or so before you can see it on your TV. I'm going to pop off for a second, but you'll see how beautiful it is. Once again, I get my backgrounds from Canva. I have a paid monthly license to Canva, and it gives you virtually unlimited amounts of wonderful high quality images. to use. The copyright free. I have a license for it. So that's what I use. And because I broadcast in such high quality 1080p at 60 frames per second at 30 megabits per second, having high quality images is crucial to me. And I've always been about high quality, baby, high quality audio, high quality video, and also high quality content. So thank you very much for the compliment, baby. Let me turn myself back on. I'm back there. I'm back in front of the image. It's a green screen, folks. We all know that. Like, if I turn around behind me, I'm looking at a huge piece of green felt, and you've seen it at my place, baby. You've seen how the magic happens behind the scenes. Isn't it pretty cool?
It's awesome.
I built it myself, baby. That's what men do. Men make shit happen, right? Now, I'm not saying women don't.
And that's what makes you sexy.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna give myself a big round of applause. No, just kidding, baby. I'm not gonna toot my own horn. We're having a little bit of fun here today. This show is not going to be too terribly long, folks, because we had a late start today. If you're watching this live on Thursday, June 30th, 2022. I had to take my car in to get an oil change and tire rotation, and it ran a little bit longer than I thought. So we're starting a little bit later. So we decided to do one of the topics that's only going to take about an hour. So we only plan on being on here for about 60 minutes or maybe a little over an hour. So with that being said, baby, let's get to the topic here, because today we're going to be discussing confidence. Right, baby?
All righty, let's do this.
Okay, so before we get to this blog that we have today that was recommended by you, baby, I'm curious to hear your thoughts regarding what confidence means to you. How important is confidence, not only within yourself, but other people that you associate with, do business with, or someone you're dating, which in this case, fortunately happens to be me, humbly speaking. How important is confidence, baby?
Confidence is the biggest key in order to have a positive life and do better. Whenever you have self-doubt, you are never going to get ahead in life. And the one thing I've always been told is that if you elude confidence out there, you're going to attract the right people in your life. And that's what's important, because when you're negative, you get that negativity. And when you're confident, then you're going to have people around you that are just the same.
Like attracts like, right, baby?
Yes.
And you are who you associate with. I've said these phrases many times. I'll continue saying them over and over again, but like attracts like, and you are who you associate with. And if you're associating... Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but as well in like looking for a relationship, if you go out there and you don't have your own self-confidence, then you're going to find the fucking beta males that have no interest in like really being with you. They're going to use you and run away, and or abuse you. And so if you have confidence, you're going to find a strong, confident man to be with.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that the beta males are going to use you. Some of them will, but a lot of them...
Emotionally.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Baby, we got to get really better at not cutting each other off, because we both have things to say, and I know it's exciting, but I lose my train of thought when you jump in the middle of...
So do I.
Yeah, I know. It works both ways. But
baby, we both have squirrel mentality.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll go with that. But like I was saying, it's not necessarily that the beta males, are going to take advantage of you, or what did you say? What did you say about the beta males? See, I forgot there. You said something key about...
It's not that they're going to take advantage of you like financially or anything, but emotionally. They are going to
Yeah,
see your weakness and they are going to just
exploit it.
strive on that.
Yeah, they're going to exploit your weakness or weaknesses, which is what you're saying. And I think the beta males are going to be looking at the woman as the provider regarding what men are lacking. And that is not masculine energy. And that's why a lot of women nowadays, they'll give beta males a chance because a lot of them are really nice guys and they don't come off overly strong, right? Oh boy. Oh, the distraction
Sorry about
of the
that.
big. No, that's okay. That's okay. The beta males. See now I lost my train of thought, and this is
Damn it,
this is.
Borky.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm getting an Amazon package and they are just.
Okay, you
You
can
be
mute.
nice to him.
You, you can
I am
mute.
so.
You can mute. Okay.
You too.
Okay. You gotta mute, baby. Baby.
Okay, I'm back. They're gone.
Baby. When that
Good.
happens in
I
the
know
future,
I didn't need it first, but yeah, now I'm so sorry about that, everybody. My dog.
oh man. Yeah, see, this is where I'm in the zone. I have these thoughts, and they're good thoughts that can really help people. And these distractions are what takes my thoughts away. When you're live, you're live. You can't take it back. It goes out there. We could do these
I get
pre-recorded
it.
and edit them, but okay. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, the last few times we've gone live, there's been some kind of distraction, dogs, Amazon delivery person. And, it is what it is. And part of me being confident and being secure within myself and being emotionally strong and stable is, saying it is what it is. Shit happens, and let's just continue moving forward. But the beta males, like I said, are basically lacking self-confidence. And they're looking at you for your confidence. And, they're looking at you to be the leader in their relationship and the provider in their relationship, which is not masculine energy. And that's what turns off women. Now, let me share my thoughts about, the importance of confidence and what it means to me. I honestly feel, baby, that confidence is very important for both men and women. And what I'm about to say is not trying to take anything away from women, because it is important for women as well as men. But for men, it is critical and crucial. More so, I'm hearing noises.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to
Okay.
meet you right now.
Okay, that's cool, because those noises get really distracting. So yeah, if they're going to be noises, please mute. Confidence is important for both men and women. But it is critical and crucial for men, especially for men. Why? Because men are supposed to be certain. Masculine energy is certainty. Masculine energy is taking risks. Masculine energy is overcoming barriers and obstacles, finding ways to make shit happen, right? And that takes confidence, right? Now, feminine energy grows through praise, and feminine energy is also, women have lots of uncertainties based on their natural biological essence and the way the good Lord made women to be. Now, again, I'm not saying that women are not capable of doing things at the level men are. I'm not criticizing women. I'm just saying that at a natural biological level, women are more uncertain most of the time than men. And so what happens? When a man and a woman are dating and women are having those moments of uncertainty and they're lacking self-confidence, they look up to their man for his strength, his confidence, his emotional self-control, his strength, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to offset and balance out the woman's lack of, what she's missing based on her natural biological essence. And when a man lacks self-confidence, lacks emotional self-control, lacks, you know, overcoming barriers and pushing through things and keep moving forward, when a man is lazy and stuff, that completely repels a woman because she's struggling with that, just being a woman, no disrespect. And she's looking up to the man for that. And if the man can't provide that, women get annoyed. They start at first, women will, try to motivate you to turn that around. But you can't teach that. A woman can't teach that to a man. A man has to learn that on his own, typically by the way he's raised his father and mother. And as he gets older, he needs to follow coaches like myself or read self-help books and learn to work on his confidence. What are your thoughts about that, baby, before we get to the blog here?
Oh, no, I totally agree with that. I think, men in general, they act very confident, but they have a lot of issues going inside themselves. And
Yeah,
that's when things go bad because it's not true confidence. It's not a true self-love. And but they do put on a front, where I believe women are just more out there with their emotions. They share
correct.
things. They let their vulnerability out there. And so, like, that's what a lot of my friends and family have told me in the past, is that when you put out your vulnerability and all of this, then you are only going to attract people that want to take advantage of you.
That
When
that's
you come
correct,
out
baby.
as a confident, as you come out as a confident person, then the other person is not going to fear that you're taking advantage of them. You guys are going to be equals, and that's going to be the right person to be with.
Yeah, and so I get what you're saying there. It's not that women don't have confidence or shouldn't have confidence. They should. But at the end of the day, no matter how much confidence a woman has, no matter how strong she is, she's still naturally and biologically a woman. And women feel the happiest when they're in their feminine, natural feminine essence. Even modern women nowadays that are corporate executives or are doing things that require them to exude more masculine energy, they're happier when they're exuding more feminine energy. Tell me, baby, you're
Oh
happier.
yeah, no, I agree. Like, when they leave the corporate world, they go out and they have glasses of wine with their friends, and they try to engage in um relationships with men. But you know what? The problem is, men nowadays are very intimidated by women who are successful.
Yeah, baby, let me get in here real quick.
And
And I remembered what I was going to say. Hold on one second. Hold that thought for a second. What you
yeah,
were saying earlier regarding these men, you said all men have confidence, but some of them, display it differently. I don't think all men have confidence. I think most men nowadays lack self-confidence. And what's happening is they're displaying weakness, insecurity. So they're coming off weak, needy, desperate, and insecure. And that is not confident at all. And if they're trying to come off like they're confident when they're displaying weakness or weak, needy, desperate, and insecure behavior, all they're doing is trying to overcompensate. They're trying to hide it. And women are so intuitive, they can pick up on that, quicker than the snap of my fingers, baby. And it immediately repels most women that pick up on that. Now there are some women that may not understand this, may not understand their natural biological essence, but most women do. And do you understand what I'm saying, baby? It's basically these men projecting, overcompensating because they know they're lacking what it takes to be a real man and to be
exactly.
successful with women and other things as well.
And what these men do is they seek out codependent women who want to try to fix them.
Well, that's not what they necessarily technically want or seek, but it ends up being that situation. A lot of times these men will get with these women thinking that, okay, if I can get a woman, it's going to motivate me to get my shit together, right? The truth of the matter is you need to have your shit together before you have that woman in your life, because if you don't, she's not there to fix you. Now, she's going to probably try to fix you, but it's just going to end up not working, and it's going to annoy her. She's going to fall out of love with you and eventually dump you, yada, yada, yada. And it's one of those things that could also cause a DV, domestic violence situation like you've been in, baby. It can create a whole world of shit. Makes sense before we move on to the blog here?
Yeah, all I want to say is that if you are in a true relationship that is the right person for you, you find no need to fix or change them. You love them for who they are, accept all their imperfections and all their perfections at the same time. And you don't have to feel the need to fix anybody. That's what a successful relationship is.
Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. All of me loves all of you. Baby, I'm no John Legend. I just butchered a John Legend song, baby.
You didn't butcher it to me. It's fine.
Baby, did it sound good on my Shure? Did it sound good on my Shure SM7B? You love hearing that microphone
sure
name.
It did. Sure it did.
All right, baby, let's get this blog here. We're 22 minutes into the show. We're not going to take a break. We should get through it within about 35 to 40 minutes. It's not too terribly long. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source. And there we are. It'll pop up on your screen in just a bit there, baby. The title of this blog post, and this is from your dog loves me. This is from the CNBC.com website, and the topic is, or the title is, a psychotherapist shares the 3 exercises she uses every day to be a lot more confident. One more time, a psychotherapist shares the 3 exercises she uses every day to be a lot more confident. This was published Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, just about a week ago. And it's written by Jenny Manpa, contributor. Okay. I bet that I think that's her.
That.
Mainpa. Well, how do you say it, baby?
Menopause.
Menopause, like menopause? Baby, whatever. I mean, she's cool. She's. Let's just move on.
That's how I would pronounce her name.
All right, it's all good. Let's move forward here. Confidence is the belief that you can take life's challenges head on and succeed. It requires having trust in yourself and your abilities, especially based on your past experience. I agree with that, baby. That first little paragraph there, confidence is having belief in yourself, is loving yourself, trusting yourself. If you don't love yourself, believe in yourself, or trust yourself, you're going to lack self-confidence, and you're going to come off very weak, needy. If you're a man, very weak, needy, desperate, insecure. If you're a woman, for women, it's not going to come off as bad because women, feminine energy is different than masculine energy. But for men, this is absolutely, absolutely critical. For men and women, it's important, but for men, it is critical. Okay. And It requires having trust in yourself and your abilities, especially based on your past experience. Baby, we've all had past experiences that have put us through the ringer, that have tested our strength emotionally and physically and mentally and spiritually, right? And we work through those things and work past those things, and we learn from them, and that makes us stronger, which allows us to build more trust and faith within ourselves to have confidence. What are your thoughts about that? Have your past experiences made all the difference in the confidence you've built up to have within yourself today?
Yes and no.
Please explain.
Well, let's get into that second part, and that will
want me to read
explain
it?
it all.
Let me read it, and then you can respond to it. But confidence can be hard to develop. Baby, you read ahead. Jesus Christ. How does it look on your big-ass 80-inch TV?
Beautiful.
All right, great. But confidence can be hard to develop if you struggle with anxiety, like I sometimes do. That's the blog author writing this. I started my psychotherapy practice to help clients with similar struggles cope and build self-esteem. So before we get your response, baby, number one, you have clinical anxiety. We talked about that the other day. Yes. And this lady found her passion and her purpose to help other people learn to deal and cope with something she is going through. I wholeheartedly respect that about any man or woman. What are your thoughts, baby? Yeah. That second paragraph, beautiful.
Absolutely. But yes, anxiety is a huge struggle with self-confidence because you get overwhelmed with the failures that you've had. So you just get overwhelmed and you beat yourself up. It becomes self-loathing, and anxiety is probably like one of the worst things a person can have.
Oh yeah, I concur. I'll second that. Notion or emotion, like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles used to sing. I second that emotion. Yeah. Well said, baby. Anything else before we move forward?
No, keep going, baby. We're good.
Oh, okay. Luckily, there are several little things you can do to feel and look more sure of yourself. Here are the 3 exercises I use every day to be a lot more confident. Before we get to those 3 aspects here, this psychotherapist says there are several things you can do, little things you can do to feel and look more sure of yourself. I don't think it should only be, feeling and looking, coming off like you're more confident. I think it should be becoming more confident. So not just feeling like it, because that could be temporary, or appearing like it, which is really not being confident, but coming off that way. Maybe those are little tips and tricks to help someone snap out of a rut so they can become more confident. But I'm more about teaching people how to become self-confident and completely loving themselves to the point of where nothing that anyone says or does will affect you. And the only opinion of yourself that should ever really matter is your own. And if you have that confident attitude right there, you're only going to allow, opinions, from people that are meaningful and respectful and decent and constructive. And you're going to be able to tune out the negativity or the people that are coming at you, attacking you, or projecting you. Anything else you want to say about that before we get to these 3 aspects?
Yes.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
So I actually kind of disagree with you on this.
Oh, okay.
What she is saying is there are little things you could do to feel and look more like your true self. She's saying these exercises are going to bring you back to what your true confidence and self-being is.
They're going to help get you back on track, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
They're going to help you to focus and get back and get out of that self-loathing cyclone that people get into. So I believe that this is very good advice. Um, because all she's saying is make like and look more sure of yourself, which means you are believing in yourself.
Correct. Okay, that does make sense. I mean, I think what it is she's trying to help people, jumpstart the process of becoming self-confident, and that's an easy way to get people to just start taking action, because the first step is the most difficult one, is just taking action to correct anything, right? And so
Yes.
I totally understand what she's saying, and I get what you're saying. Let's get to the first aspect here. Number one,
Okay.
break big goals into bite-sized pieces. I've learned this one as well. Let's read what was written. This gives you a clear game plan of how you'll achieve your goal. And each time you finish a small goal, you get an increased boost of motivation. That's true. Very true, baby. Every time that, here's the thing. When I used to work in retail management, at a management level, running a store, the district manager would come in and give myself, the manager, 20 tasks to complete by the end of the week. And, what would happen is two of them would take, several hours to complete, and 18 of them would take like 15 minutes each, right? So what did I used to do? I would tackle with my team of employees the two biggest and hardest ones, right? And what would happen is the district manager would come in and 2 or 3 days later and see how far along we were on that list. And I would tell the guy, well, we got through 2. We only got 2 done. We got the 2 most difficult ones done. Well, let me give you some advice, son. And he would call me son, this particular district manager. I didn't like that, but hey, it is what it is, right? Let me tell you something, son. You should have tackled the 18 things that were going to take you 10 to 15 minutes each. And that way you have had 18 out of the 20 complete. And then you can spend the rest of the week working on the last 2. So get to work, get those done. I'll be back in a few days to see where you're at. And that was a wake-up call, baby, because a lot of people, when they have a list of things to do, what they end up trying to do is the most difficult and time-consuming aspects of that list first, right? And that doesn't give you the feel of a sense of accomplishment. If you get those, easier ones done first, you feel like you're more than halfway there, and then it's going to motivate you and push you through to complete the more difficult ones. What are your thoughts about that before we move on? Does that make sense? Break big goals into bite-sized pieces.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, no, totally makes sense. Like I can relate in my life here with my backyard, and just getting it cleaned up because it's gotten out of control, and I just do a little bit every day, and that accomplishment every day and seeing how much better the yard looks is everything. I couldn't do it all in one day, but I just take it at baby steps, and I get what I can done every day. And it makes me feel better to walk outside and see that.
It gives you a sense of accomplishment, right, baby?
Accomplishment, yes.
How important to you as a modern day woman is having the feeling of accomplishing something or having a sense of accomplishment?
Well, currently in my life, it's very important. Just because, yes, I am working with you, but I'm technically unemployed and have nowhere to go for work. So what I'm doing at home gives me purpose. It makes me feel good. I give myself little chores every day to do, and I don't make it too big. I just say, hey, I'm going to do this for an hour. and then I'm going to come back and rest and watch a show, and then I'll go back and tackle another project. And then I feel better at the end of the night because I got stuff done and I didn't overwhelm myself.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Technically, I don't feel you are unemployed, maybe from a financial standpoint, because, we haven't made a lot of money running the business yet. That's in progress of happening. But, what people don't understand is what I do and what you're doing here. This is a job. The creator economy, is here and here to stay. And that's another thing I try to teach people. This is real work. Baby, you've seen my studio. You've seen the equipment I have. I put the studio together, and it took a lot of work, a lot of time and work, and to maintain it, it takes a lot of time and work, and it's work. And once I'm done with these shows, like when I do them at night, and let's say you're not on that show and I'm doing my own show, it literally takes me 20 to 30 minutes after I end the show before I can call you for our good night call, because I am literally breaking down a real studio. But I'm the only person here. So, I had to do it myself, and I enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong. But no, it is considered work. But I understand where you're coming from. Let's continue here. I recently committed. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it just comes back to I've always had a place to go for work. I've never been self-employed, and understanding this is a little hard for me, but I am getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm accepting it.
Baby, let me say this. When you and I a few years down the road, when this business is thriving and we're helping people and making good money, and we're sitting on a beach in Hawaii or in the Bahamas sipping Mai Tais or whatever. I hope you like Mai Tais. I really love Mai Tais, or Long Island iced teas, right? We're going to be sitting there and saying, This is because of the creator economy and being self-employed. At that point, baby, when you see it actually happening and the money's coming in and it's successful and thriving, I guarantee you we can look back at this stream today, the replay of this, and you're going to have a different outlook on it. But I get it. Let's continue.
Absolutely. It's just brand new to me.
Absolutely. And you love it. Okay. I recently committed to a 60-day fitness challenge. It was hard at first because I was so focused on exercising for 60 days in a row that before I had even finished one workout, I was already dreading the next one. I lost confidence in my discipline and physical abilities. That is important when you are, on a weight loss journey. You cannot lose your confidence and you cannot lose your discipline and physical abilities. You need to fight through it. Everyone, when they first start, going on the diet and, eating less and eating healthier and exercising more each and every day, for that first week, everyone naturally dreads that next workout. Oh, I got to do this shit again tomorrow. I got to get up, get my work done. I have to eat less, so I may have less energy, and I have to exercise more with less energy. And it, for the first week or two, it does suck. But then what happens, babe? You start stepping on that scale, and I wouldn't step on the scale every day. I'd probably wait a couple of weeks before you step on the scale. Weigh yourself before you start your diet, so you have a starting point, and then weigh yourself 2 weeks later, after you've done everything right for 2 weeks straight. And when you lose 5 or 10 pounds or 15 pounds, depending on, how much you weigh and how much you need to lose, you're going to be like, damn. When you start seeing those results, that will push you through another 2 weeks. And then when you lose more weight.
And I agree with that. With weight loss, you do not want to step on that scale every day, because that is the most discouraging thing you can do. Yeah, well, baby, you can lose a pound, and then the next day you step on and you're up 2 pounds because of water weight, but then you get discouraged and so you eat. So yes, your advice is great there. Wait 2 weeks.
let me share my thoughts about that, because you hit the nail on the head, baby. Basically, if you're working out for 2 weeks straight, and you're eating right, and you're eating fewer calories, than you're burning, and you're creating a caloric deficit, okay? And let's say you weigh yourself every day, and then after 2 or 3 days, you're up +3, but then 3 days later, you're like -7, right? The reason why there's such a huge fluctuation, and this is what discourages people, and it shouldn't, because you're actually losing fat. What you're losing is you're losing fat, okay? Even though the scale is showing more, it is water weight. Your body retains a shitload of water. It needs it to stay hydrated, right, baby? And so, are you there? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
I just didn't want to interrupt you. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So you need water to stay hydrated. What happens is, until you release most of that water out of your system, along with taking a nice fat dump. What I do when I weigh myself every now and then, especially when I'm on a diet, which I'm maintaining now. I'm not really on a diet, but I'm maintaining. I'm trying to get in a little better shape and gain a little more muscle. But what I'll do is, first thing in the morning, I wake up. That's when you're least hydrated, because your body is burning off that water in the middle of the night. You get up in the morning, do a number one, number two, go pee and go poo. Let's just put it that way, okay, to be respectful and professional. And then wait about 30 minutes to an hour. Then go into your restroom, take off all your clothes, because your clothes are going to weigh sometimes a couple, 2, 3, 4, for some people, 5 pounds. Some people wear clothes that weigh a ton, baby, right? And they weigh themselves with their clothes on, right? So get in there naked at that point, and that will give you an accurate, weight number there.
Yeah,
But
and and really quick, that's why I think my weight fluctuates from my home to the doctor's office. Even though I take my shoes off and I don't have anything on me but my clothes, that could add the extra 4 to 5 pounds that they're seeing. Because when I'm here, it's like 108,
Yeah,
So,
and when
yeah,
you're there, it could be 110, 112, 113, right?
Exactly.
Baby.
And so she thinks I'm stabilized, but I'm really not.
Baby, I'm sure you know this, having been a nurse in the past. When I was younger, they do it differently now, but when I was younger, under 10 years old or so, every year when I go to the annual checkup, they weigh you on the professional scale. The one, the metal scale where they move like the left and the right, knobs and stuff, right? Right. The old school scales before. I believe that, I think they have digital scales now, but they had the old school metal, like these scales were like a brick. You could hit someone on the head and knock them out with those scales, baby. They were all metal.
Oh,
but
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They don't construct that shit like they used to. I tell you that. Everything's plastic now. But so the nurse would come, to weigh me, because they're not gonna waste the doctor's time to put you on the scale, baby. I'm feeding back in. I'm feeding back in.
Uh-oh. How? Okay. I turned you down. Nothing changed. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it was a little bit loud, or you moved it a different way. It's feeding back in again. Where's your phone at?
Sitting on my lap with me in my hand.
Hang on a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're good now. Yeah, I just removed you and put you back into the StreamYard because StreamYard has built-in echo cancellation, which works pretty well for the most part. So something just was off for a second, but we're good now. So what would happen?
Well, your voice is, baby, your voice was going out on me as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there, but everything looks good on the YouTube end of things. Anyway, so the nurse would come in and ask me to strip down to my drawers. So basically, you wouldn't get completely naked, but you take off your shirt, everything else, your socks, your shoes, and then they weigh you. And back in those days, I'll admit it, I think we all wore tighty whities when we were like little boys, right? Remember the tighty whities?
Oh my God, because they didn't invent boxer briefs at that point.
Yeah, baby. Baby, I should go retro this week and then get some old school tighty whities and see if they turn you on. No comment?
No comment.
Okay. All right.
I love the ones you have.
I know you do, baby, and I'm not going to change it up. I'm not going to wear no damn tighty whities. All right. I'm a guy's unpaid endorsement. David Archie is a great he's a great guy that creates great underwear for men. He creates boxer briefs. He has a great high quality line of men's boxers to the point of where I told my woman, stop spending money on me. You're in between jobs, and until we get this business going, I don't want you spending money. But she ordered me some David Archies because she likes them so much. Thank you, baby. Thank you for that, baby. But let's continue here. Okay.
Let's continue. Yes, I have work to do today.
Oh, great. So I took a step back and shifted my mindset into focusing on things one day at a time. I began to celebrate each day I worked out for itself rather than celebrating it as one of 60. Yeah, you take it day by day, step by step. Focusing on each individual step along the way to my big goal made me feel proud and confident, making it easier to complete the entire program. So it's called baby step. It's called real quick, baby. It's called baby steps. And another great thing I learned from Coach Corey Wayne, at least how to verbalize it better, is that, your job, he says your job as a man, because he caters his content primarily to men, but he does for women as well at times. But your job as a man or woman is to just move the needle forward just a little bit each and every day. If you move things forward just a little bit each and every day, eventually you will reach your goals. And that's why, baby, we've been creating a lot of content lately. We've been very consistent. And even though we may not be getting a lot of views or making a lot of money, we're taking a step in the right direction each and every day. Does that make sense to you? What are your thoughts before we move on to number 2?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Nothing more to add to that. Okay. Let's go to number 2.
The dogs are barking.
Okay. Let's go to number 2. Look at the evidence. I have a voice in my head that I call my inner mean girl. Well, my girl has it too, and I think every woman does too. They're emotional beings that respond to everything.
Yes, we do.
Emotionally. See, she even just cut me off to say that. Thank you, baby. Like I was going to say, as I always say, women are emotional beings that respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. She often appears when I'm overwhelmed. That's what happens with women. And women get overwhelmed all the time. It's part of their natural biological essence. And it's the man's job to come in and offset that and say, baby, it's all good. Just relax. Let's take it step by step. You're amazing, baby. Baby, you work so hard. You're so smart. You're so good at what you do. And baby, you do this too. Like you just never stop because it's like you're trying to prove to yourself and the world how good you are. And I already know how good you are. And the people that know who you really are know how good you are. But that's what happens with women. I think your emotions overwhelm you more than anything. And it affects you in every way, right, baby? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, absolutely. a lot of it that with me personally is that I've always been very successful at getting jobs right away and not having a problem. And right now, even though many people are hiring, I'm just having a hard time finding what I want to do and what I want to get back into. So I do sit there and inner girl me or inner mean girl myself and say, what the hell? Why are you a failure? You're 47 years old. You should have your shit together by now. So I absolutely understand what this author is saying.
You're your own worst enemy.
Yes.
Yep. And it's more normal and natural for women to feel that way. But when it comes to men, it is far less normal. We're going to have moments where we're feeling that way, but men, strong, decent men, typically snap out of it very quickly and they figure out a solution. Women will sit there and ponder over the same shit emotionally all day, every day. And no disrespect, baby. I'm not trying to, I love you and I don't hate women. I love women. Obviously, I love you. But baby, you ponder over shit over and over and over and over again. You've been pondering over this job thing for months now, every day, right? But I keep doing. I keep on encouraging you. I keep telling you how amazing you are. I keep telling you how valuable you are to my business and how far this is going to take the both of us down the road. And you're in a good financial position until you find that job. And I've helped you put yourself in that position based on what you created. You just needed the help on the action to take to make that happen, right?
Yes. I I'm gonna say I'm not super um proactive on finding out what I can get. Um, you know, there have been times in the past where I was not working for a short time, but I didn't even know like I could qualify for food stamps. And I technically could right now, but I'm not going to go do that because there are people out there that need it more than I do.
Oh, and yeah,
And
baby,
I never
you've
really
got
knew how to, what?
you're not in poverty, baby. You've got enough money to survive. Go ahead. I
Oh,
get
I
it. I get
know. I know. But I'm just saying the fact that I'm unemployed would qualify me for that. But
sure.
I'm not going to do that. And I've
Because
never really
because you're
known
not
how
you're
to
not you're
do
not
that.
you're not one that plays the system is what you're saying.
Yes, I've never really known how to do those things. I just have always worked and gotten by, whether I was in my marriage or other relationships, I made it work, but I never worked the system.
Well, that's
And
good. I
so when
I
it
respect that.
comes, yeah, so when it came to things that I needed to do, unemployment, you know, I wasn't quite sure how to handle all this stuff, and you helped me, and we got it all done. And with everything else, with my 401k and investing, that you helped me there because that was stuff I didn't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, and I'm glad I could help you. And that's my job as a man, in our relationship is to, help teach you things that I'm better at than you, and you help me by teaching me things that you're better at than me. And together we make a great team. And I'm secure within myself to come out and say, yeah, there are things that my woman is better, at than I am, and vice versa. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I handle mine, she handles hers, and together we balance each other out. We balance each other out in what the other is lacking based on our genders, right? And or
Yeah,
other aspects. And we just make a great team. Let's continue here. For
yeah,
example, if I have a deadline looming, that voice might start to say things like, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't even get your slides in on time. You should just quit. That's when I stop and ask myself, what is the evidence that I am a failure? This company hired me to speak based on my successful track record. I have 2 master's degrees and a state-issued license confirming that. I know what I'm talking about. Well, baby, you're exactly like that. But and here's the thing.
Yep.
Here's the difference between men and women. It is okay for women to come out and, overcompensate. It's not even really called overcompensating for women because women are feminine, right? And women, are still fairly new to the workforce in the modern world. Women were not physically designed to do what they're doing today. Not saying they're not capable, but that wasn't the purpose, why God made women. So for women to come out and say, to themselves or speak out loud and say, if I feel I'm failing, why do I feel that way when, I have a master's degree and a state issued license confirming that I know what I'm talking about. And this company hired me to speak based on my successful track record. It's okay for women to feel that way. But when a man comes out and starts flexing his muscles and saying, I make $1 million a year and I got this mansion and Lamborghini and I've got this and that and I get all the chicks, right? That is overcompensating. So I can understand where she's coming from. She's coming from the female perspective, which is different than the male perspective. And that's why I'm glad we dissected this. And I'm glad you made me aware of this article, baby, because I can give the other side of the spectrum for men, and you can confirm what she's saying on the female side, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to it before we continue?
No, these are the types of things I want to talk about. I don't want to get sucked into any drama or anything. So I want to actually help people that might have certain different problems out there, give them some knowledge. And you know what? I'm not telling you what to do, anybody. All I'm doing is sharing my life experiences so possibly you can learn from them.
Right. And I've been doing the same thing for the last 5.5 years, babe. And here's the thing. The right people that are open to the help are going to appreciate what we're doing. And the people that, are not ready for our help or may never, ever be ready for our help, they're going to feel like we're talking smack about them or attacking them. And those are the types of people that we just politely ignore and move forward and focus on the people that, are ready for our help. Let's continue here. By the time I've looked at all of the objective evidence of my worthiness, I've calmed down and am able to think and act more confidently. I'll tell myself, I know this topic well. I am having trouble getting started, but that doesn't mean that I can't do this. I'll start by getting some ideas down on paper. Jotting things down on paper, baby, to me is much more effective, even in the modern world where most of everything has gone digital. It's more effective because it's been proven that people retain things more that they write down on paper or read from paper compared to a digital device or computer. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely, yeah. I am a firm believer of that. I actually like to actually physically read a book versus listening to it, because I know when I listen, my mind is going somewhere else also. I might be driving and concentrating on that and just not paying total attention. So yeah, I need to have physical words on a paper to actually absorb it into my brain.
Yeah. No, I love what you just said, babe. I'm also looking at in the chat, Simmer Down is back in the chat. Welcome back to the show, Simmer Down. She says, co-host with a nurse, she will always be a winner. It is just a matter of time, co-host. You will secure the position you want. A healthy amount of worry is what drives all of us. Furthermore, Simmer Down says, I can tell based on her stories, she is an extremely, extremely hardworking person. Yeah, no, she's a great woman. And I can tell that you have great qualities about you as well, Simmer Down. And I appreciate your comments and compliments there. This is why I'm with this woman. Most other men, most other decent men might not have given her the chance, because when I met her, baby, this is with no disrespect, you were really broken. You were.
Yeah.
But I looked beyond that because you had the biggest heart and soul. You looked at me in a way, and I don't think I've ever emphasized this to you in this way, but that first night when we met, you looked at me in a way unlike any other woman's ever looked at me. It was so intense, like a deer in headlights. And then for the first 2 to 3 months, you still do it every now and then, but for the next 2-3 months after we started going out, okay, you kept on looking at me with those intense eyes, and that kept me coming back. As intense as you thought it was, and as crazy as you thought it was, and as much as you thought it was going to drive me away because it's probably driven away other guys, it's what kept me coming back. I saw who you really are underneath all of it, underneath it all, which is what I'm trying to say. Simmer Down furthermore says, who still remembers the Franklin planner? Absolutely. I remember the Franklin planners. They weren't cheap. They were high quality. Yeah. I remember you're saying you're 40. I'm 48. My woman's 47. So yeah, they were around during your time too. Simmer Down. You're borderline millennial Gen X. You're technically millennial because 40 and under is millennial, but you were at the tail end of Gen X, beginning of millennial. I think you have more Gen X roots than millennial roots. Anything else you want to mention, baby, before we get to number 3? We are at 1 hour and 1 minute.
No,
We're almost done.
Say thank you to Simmer Down for the kind words. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right. Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air probably in about 10 to 12 minutes or so once we get through this final aspect here of confidence. Number 3, ask my friends and family what they think. This one might sound terrifying, but the people who choose to be in your life do love and care about you, flaws and all. So, baby, even though you feel at times your family doesn't love you or they have issues and shit is happening, they really honestly do love you and accept your flaws and all, because they have flaws. Everybody has flaws. Every man and woman has flaws. It's just that most decent people learn to accept those flaws and thrive off of those flaws. And I'll tell you, I've taken all my flaws, baby, and turned it into this business. How's that? How does that sound?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I want to do as well. The hardest part about that is when you know you're loved, but your family and friends choose to walk away because they can't watch you self-destruct.
Right.
That's the hardest part. You know they love you,
right,
and that's why they're walking away.
Absolutely, baby. And I'll tell you, like I told you when I first started to get to know you, I felt like that a few times. I wasn't going to leave you, but I felt like that. It's not that I didn't want to be with you. It's not that I wasn't attracted to you. I was. It's not that I didn't love who you were. I did. But you made it very difficult for anyone, family or any other guy, to love you. You made it difficult. Why? Because you were being I've never seen any woman in my entire life be as hard on herself as you've been, baby. And I'll tell you, I think that's another reason why I'm still with you, because you are so humble. Yes, you've had your moments when you were a nurse and other times where you let the money and the position and the status get to you, but you learned from that and it really humbled you. And the fact that it's humbled you and you become so hard on yourself, holding yourself so accountable as annoying as it was for you to be that hard on yourself, it also allowed me to respect you more than I've
How could I
respected any other
not be
woman.
humbled at this point? I was making $60 an hour as a nurse. And in my last job I was making $18 an hour. How can I not be humble?
I understand. I understand. I completely understand that. And
Karma knocked me way off of my pedestal, brought me
yeah,
way back to the bottom of the totem pole.
yeah. No, I understand. I understand. All right, let's continue, baby. That was well said. And I appreciate your honesty and having the strength to come out here and continue to share these stories that are going to do nothing but help people. Often, they see strengths in us that we can't. I once found myself conflicted between whether or not to accept the job offer. I wasn't sure if I would be good at the position, so I asked a few trusted friends to tell me what they thought my strengths were. Their answers were both surprising and validating. And validation seeking behavior is normal for women, not normal for men. Men should not seek the validation of women, and it is okay for women to seek the validation of men. But there are some women in the modern world that have become so like they've
Dependent.
started to well, they've started. I'm losing my verbiage here. They've become so much more uh, exuding more masculine energy, which is what I'm trying to say, than feminine energy, right? And when a man tries to
Yes.
validate them because that's normal, these women get triggered. And those are the types of women, if I came across them on dating sites or dating apps when I was single before I met you, I would avoid them. I would avoid them because
Yeah.
that's just, validation seeking behavior and women needing validation is completely normal. Having similar themes for multiple people who have seen me in different environments helped me focus on my strengths and whether or not the person would align. Eventually, I shut down the inner mean girl that was telling me, you're not good enough for this opportunity. Baby, that's what we got. We got to get you to that level. We got to get you to the level
Yes.
of you shut down the inner mean girl because, baby, you can be mean. You don't do it on purpose. You can be even mean to me. But
I'm
you're
not
not
mean. I'm not mean to most people. I'm mean to myself.
right. Right. And you're telling yourself you're not good enough for this opportunity. Baby, I don't know how many times over the last several months I've heard you say you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. And many women and even some men, but more so women, many women, look at themselves in this way because this crazy modern world we live in where women have been liberated for a little over 55 years. It's still fair. It's still fairly new. It's very cutthroat, and it really affects, in my opinion, a woman's natural biological essence of being feminine, and it's forcing women to come off and be more masculine, which women don't really like that. But they're being forced to be that way because of their independence and having
Yeah.
to, you know, fight for their own survival nowadays instead of being dependent on a man for their survival like they did before they were liberated over 55 years ago and before that time. What are your thoughts about this, baby? Final thoughts about this or another part of this topic of
Um.
confidence before we go
Yeah.
off the
No.
air?
You literally nailed it on the head right there. Um. I have that problem with the inner mean girl, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I do need to get over, and I need to
Yep.
find that light that tells me I can and not I can't.
Right.
So
Right.
that is what I'm working on now. But the one other thing I wanted to point out is that you really enjoyed this blog, right?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so the author of this blog is a psychotherapist and founder of Forward in Heels, an intersexual feminist group therapy practice in New York City that empowers all women to stand tall and own their worth. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Interesting. She sounds reasonable. And here's the
Yeah,
thing. Before we wrap this up, I'll share my final thoughts. There is a difference between being a feminist and being a radical feminist. Okay. I believe from what I've learned, running my coaching business and being out here on YouTube full time the last 5.5 years, participating on many live streams, participating in many Reddit forums, Reddit groups. I've talked with many men and women regarding this, and this is what I've come up with. Every single woman out there, good, bad, or indifferent, is a feminist any way you look at it. Every single woman is a
absolutely.
product of feminism. So when a woman comes out and says, I'm a feminist, it's not really a bad thing. Now, the women that take it a bit too far are the radical feminists. And for me, anything radical, anything extreme or radical, same thing, I'm not for. I'm for being reasonable and meeting people halfway and not, going extreme one way or extreme the other way, as far just like, left versus right, Democrats versus Republicans. But here's the thing. I'll tell you this. Even though every woman out there, good, bad, or indifferent, even the good women, they're feminists. Okay. Ladies, a word of advice. Even if you're a good woman, right? Do not put I'm a feminist on your dating profile or dating app. Because whenever I would come across a woman that would go out of her way to say she's a feminist, I considered her a radical feminist, because women that are trying to attract a good man are not going to flex the feminist card, because that does turn off men. We want to accept you as our equals, but just like you ladies don't like it when men flex their muscles, we don't like it when you flex your, well, we'll just say muscles. You do have muscles too. It's a little different, but we don't like it when you flex your muscles too. So that's just a little bit of advice, baby. You would never, ever put on a dating profile that you're a feminist, right, baby? Even though you are.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I don't even know if I would qualify myself as a feminist, but just I like to empower women to do greatness. So if I'm out and about and I see a woman that is looking really beautiful, I will tell her, hey girl, that dress is beautiful. It looks great on you. Because women need to support each other. We have been catfighting for decades and it's
Yeah.
not okay. So now we need to come together as women and
Yeah.
just let each other know that we are all special in every shape, size, and form. And, just pump each other up like that.
Yeah, baby. Simmer Down says, I agree, Eli. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, baby, you're right. But here's the thing. Any which way you look at it, I understand you're not trying to be aligned with or attached to the word feminist, because it's been viewed as such a nasty word, and it really isn't. But here's the question real quick, babe, before we go off the air here. Okay. Are you happy that you have equal rights and you have the right to vote, the right to bear arms, you have freedom of speech, you have, all the same rights, equal opportunities, yada, yada, yada. Even though I know
That
there's still
every
some
other
men.
human being does? Yes, I do.
Okay. The
Because I
reason why.
don't believe in the
Okay.
fact that men are superior human beings than women. So if
Okay.
we're all on this planet living together, we should all have the same rights.
I'll tell you one thing, baby. When we go away this weekend, I'm going to be superior in the bedroom. I don't think you're going to challenge that one at all, are you?
Oh, hell no.
See, that's. I love this. I love this. The relationship dynamics between men and women nowadays are comical. It's great. But no, baby, here's the thing. Any which way you look at it, you have those rights and opportunities because of feminism. You are a product of feminism. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. The only time there's something wrong with it, in my opinion, is when a woman goes out of her way to flex that I'm a product of feminism and I'm woman. And like, again, we've talked about, your daughter. When you told me that your daughter, and simmer down, check this out. My lady's 27-year-old daughter that's engaged to get married. She has a tattoo of Rosie the Riveter on her arm. Rosie the Riveter, if you don't know who she is, I'm sure you do, simmer down. She's the lady, we can do it. The lady that when men went to war and, women, we needed women to work, that's when the government created that lady, wearing like the maid outfit, but she had big guns. She had big biceps like a man. Right? Right, baby?
Yeah.
And so your daughter has that tattooed on her arm, and that makes a statement. See, that to me right there, no disrespect, that's a big turnoff to me. But to each its own. Anyway, anything else you want to mention, baby, before we go off the air?
Not really, just, this was a great show. I appreciated it, but on the flip side, let's leave my kid out of it. It's a sensitive subject.
I know.
So for future, let's just leave her out.
I do apologize for that, baby. It was just a good example that I could think of. There are many women that do things like that, and feminism wasn't made to come out and try to flex and for women to try to flex their muscles on men. It was made to just give women the same opportunities and the same rights. And
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. At the same time, men shouldn't be flexing their
One,
muscles on women or other men
yeah.
also. But go ahead.
One other thing I want to say is I think Simmer Down and I proved a point that women can empower each other and say nice things without being radical. You know, she is listening to me and she's giving me compliments, and I'm respecting that. So it
Yeah.
just shows how we've evolved in order to just show respect for other women because we got to stick together.
Right. Right. And Simmer Down says in the chat, I don't mind symbolism. I don't know what happened. Nightbot just deleted all your messages and timed you out. I will read
What?
it though. I'm sorry, Simmer Down. I don't know what happened. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Fucking Nightbot is acting up.
No, sweetheart. We talked about this. You don't need to get mad at Nightbot. Nightbot's just doing his job. No problem. Okay? I don't mind symbolism. I think actions speak louder than tats. No, I agree with you on that. But, for someone to go out of their way, and I'm not talking about your daughter, I'm saying in general, babe. For someone to go out of their way and to tattoo the symbol of feminism on their forearm, to me it states something, really deep. And that's as far as I'm going to go into today. We've talked about it before, and we're not going to get into it here today.
Well,
because that's
all I'm going to say is that while she got this tattoo, she was very young and she was raised in the latter part of her years by her conservative father. And I don't know if that triggered her to become more radical or not. Because
yeah.
her and I have always been liberal, always that way. Like that's our mindset. And I don't know if that's what triggered her to put that on her arm and be like, I'm going to flex my muscles at you,
Oh,
Dad. You
oh no,
can't
baby.
control us.
She's not conservative. Your daughter is a liberal, but she's a liberal extremist. She's a leftist
Yes.
extremist. So because Rosie the Riveter is a leftist type of thing. Feminism is a leftist type of thing.
That's why I think she put it to kind of stick it to her dad. Because her dad is so white, like, the right wing conservative.
Yeah, he's probably a Trump supporter. He's probably an alt-right conservative extremist. And
Oh
baby,
yeah, Trump,
if
Bush,
she did
all
it,
of them.
if she did it to stick it to her father, that's a conservative extremist, then God bless her, baby. That's all I got to say. God bless your
Yeah,
daughter, baby.
I think that's why she did it, because she was rebelling at that time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean,
now it's
she's a
permanent.
good girl. I'm not going to talk shit about her. She's a good girl. She's got good intentions. Um,
I
and
wasn't
she
talking
doesn't go
shit,
out
baby.
and
I was just making a point.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't go out and protest anything. She just put the tattoo on her arm. So I
It can,
gotta defend
so
my
so
baby
it can
girl a
speak for
little bit
itself.
here.
She put the tattoo on her arm so it can speak for itself. That's brilliant. Anyway, all right,
Exactly.
baby. You wanna let's wrap this up, baby. Baby, thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna put you backstage, wrap up the show in about a minute or so, and I'll be doing a walk, folks, in a couple of hours. So, baby, I will text you with that behind the scenes. Thank you so much for being here, baby, and I look forward to our next
Oh
show.
yeah, yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go get my laundry done and get some stuff cleaned up here, and I'll wait for your walk.
Sounds good, babe. All right, putting you backstage. Thank you, baby. All right, folks, that's going to wrap things up here today. A couple of hours from now, if you're watching this live, in a couple hours from now on my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, I'll be doing a Walking with Purpose live stream. It's probably going to happen at around 6:45 p.m. Eastern, 3:45 p.m. Pacific. Haven't decided the topic yet. Have a few in mind. It's going to be a good one, so you're not going to want to miss it. And then my lady and I were going to probably do a brief show to discuss some other things tonight, but we're going to probably preempt that, until maybe sometime next week. With that being said, have yourselves a great day. Take care. And as always, Simmer Down says, thank you both. Bye. Thank you once again for being here. And as always, be good to each other.